The final table is so surreal. Honestly, never pictured myself in this moment, so I'm just trying to enjoy it and really appreciate the fact that I've made it this far. The fact that everyone is watching makes me a little nervous. Just gonna see what happens and live.
Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. If this poker tournament were a marathon, we'd be at about mile marker 20. Hi, everyone. Lon McCarron along with Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott from the Rio.
Yeah. Hello, hello. Big day today, day 6. Done this before. We're going to try and do it again. We have chips.
It's going to be a fun day.
I'm ready to win $8 million.
It's a dream coming true.
Don't wake me now.
61-year-old Neil Blumenfield still rocking the stylish threads.
Those look like the same clothes from day 5. I hope he uses the Rio same-day laundry service.
Justin Bonomo starts day 6 in T-shirt chic.
A talented pro, he's a minimalist, and unfortunately for Justin, he has minimal chips too.
Brian Hastings looking for bracelet number 3 this year.
A Cornell grad with bracelets and money, big deal, buddy. Hey, no one likes Ithaca.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Daniel.
Kelly.
Kelly, nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, cool. And you're good, everyone says.
I'm actually scared of her more than anyone else here. Dead honest.
Kara Scott spoke with Kelly Minkin a moment ago.
So you wake up in the morning on day 6 of the main event of the World Series of Poker. You're the final woman standing here in this as well. What are you thinking?
I'm just excited to be here. There's 69 people left, and I just want to make it to day 7.
Now, clearly, you are a player first and foremost, but there's always media attention on being the final woman player in the field. Is there any extra pressure in that regard?
Honestly, I don't think so. I'm glad to be here representing the women, but at the end of the day, I just want to win the tournament.
Well, good luck with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly doesn't quite have the chip stack to crack the top 10, at least not yet. Right now, it's 72-year-old Pierre Neuville who leads the remaining 69 players.
Canadian Matt Jarvis in 7th. He was a November 9er in 2010. Can he make it to another main event final table?
Good luck.
You too.
Don't do anything too stupid.
I'll try not to. I make no
If I do
promises.
something stupid, I'm never going to live it down, Daniel, because like all I've spent my entire internet life is saying how stupid people are at these tables. They're all waiting.
I know. I've read a bunch of the tweets you've sent me.
If you knew the history earlier this summer between me and her, too, it's like a nightmare, too.
I had it every time.
No, you didn't. There's 0%.
I didn't believe her at all. She's such a liar. All you women lie.
I know. She said she has. Oh,
Nah,
my
you.
God.
Just her.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean you.
Oh, my goodness.
See, that's why I get the calls. Because guys like him, they're like, what a liar call. I'm like, nuts?
Welcome to the bright lights of the feature table to start day 6, Kelly. Justin Schwartz, a Vegas pro, raised it up with pocket 5s. Kelly with pocket jacks.
And it's amazing how quiet it gets when certain players have pocket pairs.
Schwartz with nearly 3.7 million chips. Kelly with just over 2 million.
She lives in Phoenix, but honed her game going to Los Angeles on weekends to play at the Commerce Casino.
She's going to 3-bet it to 275 in the big blind with ace-king Jonas Makoff, poker pro from Vancouver, BC.
When should you start playing?
I think 2.1.
2.1.
He's gotten coaching from 21-year-old German pro Fedor Holtz, who's still alive here in the main event.
Makoff's going to repop it to 650,000.
And pocket 5s shrink when it's been raised twice behind you.
Can you just tell me how many lavender chips you have on the
I
line?
started with 3 million.
I fold.
Original razor folds. Minkin now.
Minkin taking stock of Makoff.
See that 125 too. All these kids are min raised. You need, because it's like 100K. You need to give me your.
I love
It
table
won't be.
talk, but not this table
Like,
talk.
not like if
They're
you're-
blabbing away when the two players next to them are trying to make decisions for a lot of their
But
chips.
You need to decide because I've heard that they vary a lot. So you need to give me.
And Kelly re-raises all in.
Not loving it.
Makoff makes the call. Kelly at risk. She's racing for her chips before they're hardly stacked.
2 5s.
There's a lot of legal precedent for jacks to lose here. Kelly could be in trouble. She is the last woman standing, Barbara Enright, in 1995, the only woman to ever make the main event final table.
Minkin at risk with the jacks. Here now the flop. There's a queen and a jack. A set for Minkin. Makoff's outs are reduced to 4 with the Broadway draw.
I had to crack a little smile.
Fine.
That's
You're allowed to
okay,
be
of course,
excited.
yeah, definitely.
That's not
I let out
evil.
a fist pump when I won a
So
$1
did
million
I.
pot.
I do too. What's wrong with that? Emotion's okay.
It
We
was
all have them.
embarrassing. We're professionals.
6 of diamonds, no help to Makoff.
Especially when they're still there.
This is a lot of fun.
Makoff looking for the straight. Only a 10 would eliminate Kelly Minkin.
People win.
The river card is a 9. Minkin with the double up, making her one of the big stacks in the field.
A little nervous.
We're still at 68 men and 1 woman.
I told y'all I have it every time.
That's not it. It's like good, but it's not
I mean, it was it for me.
With that double up, Kelly Minkin can breathe a little easier. Back home, Kelly is a budding medical malpractice attorney, but here at the main event, she is just another amateur trying to hit it big. She told Kara she was not feeling any of the pressure as being the last woman standing, but Norman, do you believe her?
Do I believe her? Hey, I don't know much about healthcare and medical malpractice litigation, regulatory agency representation, personal injury, wrongful death, product liability, or whatever other nefarious legal areas she traffics in. But I do know Kelly's a lawyer, a procurator, an ambulance chaser, a shyster, a pettifogger. In short, I wouldn't believe her if she told me my name was Norman Chad. Trust me, the Arizona attorney is feeling the pressure.
Falling out of bed into a double up at the beginning of day 6 of the main event, it's a good thing. 8 tables now in play. Our Dutch real estate friend Marco van op Zeeland is all in with pocket 4 as he was called by Wasim Amar with ace king.
Van op Zeeland, 44-year-old real estate agent. Amar, 47-year-old cardiologist.
Here is the flop, an ace for Amar, winning that race so far. Van op Zeeland now a long shot.
Yeah, Van op Zeeland now on the brink.
7 of clubs, no change. Only the river can save Marco now.
2 amateurs deep in this main event. Amar looking for the knockout. Van op Zeeland has to have a 4.
The river is a jack. Wasim Amar boosts his hopes while knocking out Marco van op Zeeland in 69th place for $96,000. Not a bad commission check coming his way.
Nice man, nice run, nicely done.
Amar with a needed bump to his stack to begin day 6. There's been a nasty wake-up call nearby. Toby Lewis on the left called 2 all-ins after flopping a set of 8s. But main event first-timer Josh Beckley flopped a set of 10s. He's at risk and ahead, while Bruce Perry in the blue shirt is in danger of being knocked out with only pocket queens.
Lewis, 25-year-old British pro. Peary, 36-year-old Nashville amateur. Beckley, 24-year-old New Jersey pro.
Another deuce. Beckley with a better full house now.
Beckley looking for a triple up.
River card's a 6, so boat over queens up. Bruce Perry will hit the exit. Big hand for Beckley. He triples his stack. And Perry with his biggest ever cash, 68th place. He also cashed in the 09 main event. Lewis wins a side pot, so he's down, but not as bad as it could have been. A flop top set ended with a boat to triple up. It's good to beat Josh Beckley. The 2015 World Series of Poker is presented by DraftKings. Play weekly fantasy football for free and win huge cash prizes. Get to DraftKings.com now. And a part by WSOP Social, the #1 play for fun poker game. Free download for your mobile device, tablet, or PC at playwsop.com. When you have a lot of short stacks to start the day, it's not surprising to see early exits. Brazil's Lucas Fout gone in 67th. Israel's Gabi Lifshitz cashes out in 66th. And Portugal's Francisco Suarez done in 65th. All received more than $96,000.
Huge international field still left, including 6 Canadians and 5 Germans.
Pro Brian Hastings ahead of Neil Blumenfield with Neil's short stack all in the middle.
You are? Okay. Well, I'm rooting for my son. There's a lot at stake here. And you seem like you would be okay if you just walk home. No, actually not. So you want to root for me.
Blumenfield pushed with just under 12 big blinds left.
Exactly. too much time to support.
Neil had a tough day 5. Here is the flop now. It is 4, 10, 10. Hastings still ahead with ace high.
That's not helpful. Yeah, back to back. 2 more cards though. I'll take that flat.
Hastings having a terrific World Series.
Yeah. 7 and 7.
Turn card now. And Blumenfield finds a king. Plenty of cards to fade, though, on the river.
No, you were way off.
River's a mystery, though. I don't think.
Just put a little bitty black card out there, please.
An ace or any diamond knocks out Blumenfield.
River card, a little black card.
Wow, scalded it. So good. That was a medium black card.
Blumenfield will keep his seat at the main event.
What kind of chips do you want? All of them. I'll give you a nice big green stick.
Hastings in good spirits on the outside. On the inside, he wants to kill the man in the scarf.
Neil smiles as he accepts the newly won chips. Not smiling is Justin Bonomo trying to kickstart day 6. This bracelet-winning pro moved all in, got called. He's at risk with ace-10 against the pocket nines of Scottish pro George McDonald.
Bonomo is playing his $10,000 main event entry however he wants, so he shoved 23 big blinds with ace-10 off.
McDonald, 32, lives in Glasgow, former chemical engineer. Here is the flop. Deuce 6-8, not a good flop for Justin's hopes.
And per World Series of Poker rules, Bonomo is not allowed to touch his cell phone on the rail until he pairs one of his hole cards.
Another 6 on the turn. Bonomo with one last chance.
6 outs for bracelet winner Justin Bonomo. He's going to need an ace or a 10 or he's going home.
The river card. The 4 of diamonds, McDonald's pocket nines hold. Justin Bonomo will march to the payout cage. McDonald with nearly 6.1 million, a very tidy sum indeed at this stage of the proceedings.
For Bonomo, his 34th World Series cash and his deepest main event run ever. He's disappointed at the moment, but well done.
Yeah, he was doing well, but once the slide began, he could not reverse field. A quick look here at sports broadcaster Jeff Platt. You may remember him from last year, finishing 203rd. Well, he's at it again, deep in the main event.
He works in San Antonio. He covers the NBA Spurs, which means he's expected to get to the finals.
Still just 3 chips in play, 5K, 25K, and the Lavender 100K chip. Back to the featured table. Action on Tom Canuli under the gun with ace-king off. New Jersey pro, 23 years old, plays mostly online.
Like outer body experience. I'm just gonna
I knew you were going to be at my table today.
Just gonna let my
Last night when I went to bed, I knew you
A
were.
raise to 125,000 from the big stack at this table.
Last night I knew you were going to be at my table.
Bradley Berman gives it up. Nice to see Bradley.
No, I mean, I just knew.
Folded to Justin Schwartz in the cutoff.
No, I just.
Ace deuce off.
Well, Canuli has the real ace.
Indeed. Justin with the call. On the button is Mink, and she gives it up. Jonas Makoff now with 1 king, 2 kings.
In 2012, Makoff made 3 final tables in 1 week at the World Series circuit stop at Jerez Rincon near San Diego, won his first circuit ring.
Makoff recently doubled up Kelly Minkin. And with the pocket kings, got to figure he's going to make this a little more expensive. There's a 3-bet to 350,000. Negreanu folds back to Canuli now.
Canuli cashed at last year's main event.
Started the hand with over 5 million chips, a hefty stack. And Ace King's got lavender chips. There's a 4-bet to 850.
And Schwartz's weak ace will join the other weak aces in the muck.
Like anybody else, Justin hates to fold, but he has to.
All in.
Makoff says all in, and a quick call. So Makoff on the chopping block.
Well, that was automatic on both ends. And Makoff, though in great shape to double up to a healthy stack.
Yeah, Canuli's best chance to take all of Makoff's chips is to find another ace. We saw Justin fold 1. Here is the flop, and there is another ace. Makoff now with only 1 out to survive.
Boy, Makoff running awful. He had ace-king against Kelly Minkin's Jackson lost. Now with pocket kings, he's about to lose to ace-king.
Turn card is a 10. Makoff with some outs to split the pot, at least keep his seat.
Makoff looking for a 1-outer to win the pot. With a queen, he would chop the pot.
The river card.
Makoff doesn't look like he's going to hit it.
7 of hearts. Makoff comes up empty.
Wow, just a brutal bang-bang send-off for Jonas Makoff.
He did hang around long enough for a pay bump, the first to secure a 6-figure score at this year's main event.
It's nice meeting you, man.
Canuli's second main event cash will be quite fruitful as he's managed to build himself quite a war chest at this point, scoring the knockout with a very large pot with little old ace-king. inside the Amazon room, home base of the World Series of Poker main event. Max Steinberg currently a force in this main event, though lately his focus has been on playing daily fantasy sports. But he picked up a big stack on day 5, and he's been careful about using it.
What am I doing right? I think that I got a big stack, and a lot of people, they get a big stack, and it's like the green light to get crazy. And I think that just isn't the right thing in this situation. I think it's better to, you can pick your spots, but if you stay tight, you can ensure that you progress farther and farther in this tournament. I have plenty of chips, so I think that's what I'm doing right.
Yeah, he knows how to use a big stack. You check his Hendon Mob results. Half the time he cashes, he makes the final table.
Recently joining this featured table with Jack 10 offsuit, a raise to $155,000.
Well, I think Jack 10 off is probably near the bottom of Max's I'm not going to go crazy range.
And what's Kelly doing with 4 tray here?
Well, maybe 4 trays in her let me kick the boy's butt range.
Nope, she was going to fold. On the button, Negreanu with pocket 9s calls over to the big blind. Amr Anand, an amateur from San Francisco, Queen Jack of diamonds.
He works for Airbnb. Chips only live temporarily in his stack.
You have like 3? A little more.
4th straight main event that he's played. First time he's cashed, he's going to call for $105,000 more.
3 well-groomed beards to the flop.
Here is the flop. Negreanu with the only pocket pair. Deuce King 10, Broadway draw for Anand. He checks. Middle pair is best for Steinberg.
This whole beard thing of late, is it a fashion statement or are they just lazy?
He checks it to Negreanu, coming up a tad short now with the pocket 9s. He's going to test the other 2. He bets $230,000.
Everyone is Anand's future customer, so he has to balance that when he's looking to take their chips. He's a product manager at Airbnb. The only tournament he plays is the main event.
And with that draw, he's going to stick around. That's a call. And now to Steinberg with the best hand, the 10s.
In many ways, Max's style is the opposite of small ball, and it's a very unconventional style that's very hard to play against.
Many years ago, we televised the national championship with Max at the final table. He made unusually large pre-flop raises, which put people in some uncomfortable positions. Max reaching for lavender chips. And there is a raise to 675. Negreanu folds immediately.
Well, Anand actually getting the right price here. The thing is, he could be up against a flush draw, which gives him fewer outs on his straight draw. Plus, bearded guys don't like getting check raised by bearded guys.
And this is where Max's game is really elevated. Somehow he just knows he's got the best hand here, even though there's a king out there. And Anand does fold, and Steinberg climbs over 5 million chips.
Max Steinberg makes it look easy.
102 big blinds here on day 6 of the main event for Max Steinberg. The average stack 3.1 million with 62 seats filled right now to an outer table. Pesh De Silva with a below average stack at the moment.
And the thing is, Pesh dances like Michael Jackson when he plays Defense of the Ancients, which makes him very difficult to guard, particularly man-to-man.
Judging by his Twitter handle, Padawan Pesh, he's a Star Wars fan and not yet a Jedi Knight. With ace-9 off, he raises to 125. On the button, Andrew Jenkins. Jenkins is a 33-year-old pro from Pacific Grove, California, with king-9. And he's all in for $470,000, 9 big blinds. Small blind, Mario Sequeira folds. Big blind is Anton Morgenstern. He gives it up.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you made a higher diamond for it. That was good.
I thought it looked like that.
De Silva commits 345 more. Jenkins at risk and dominated by the ace-9 of De Silva.
And Jenkins grimaces when he sees he's dominated by that ace-9.
Pesh De Silva trying to build his stack once again. Here is the flop. Jenkins doesn't find a saving card in there. Turn card now. Another jack. De Silva primed for the knockout.
Jenkins has to have a king or he is whamboozled.
The river's another jack. Jenkins' world championship bid has come to an end. Pesh De Silva with the knockout. Picks up 600,000 new chips. He's up to almost 3 million. 62nd place for Jenkins. That payout is more than his previous career winnings total. It hurts now, but tomorrow will be good. Back to the featured table. Action is on Daniel Negreanu with ace-queen.
We're down to 7 tables, and the poker world now buzzing that one of its brightest stars, Kid Poker, could make the November 9.
Just 4 players remaining have been here this deep before. Bradley Berman, Matt Jarvis, Anton Morgenstern, and Daniel Negreanu, who raised to $115,000. Anand with King 10 on the button.
Anand's worked for Facebook and Twitter. LinkedIn would give him the social media hat trick.
He re-raises to $300,000. Pocket nines for Bradley Berman.
Duck Dynasty meets the main event.
His dad Lyle is a member of the Poker Hall of Fame.
I gotta tell you, there are beards, and then there are beards.
Berman, now president of a company that develops slot and video poker games, re-raises all in for almost $1.2 million. Daniel folds now to Anand.
Anand getting 2-to-1 to call here, but his stack might not be quite big enough to take a risk in this spot.
Both these guys on the shorter end of the stack sizes. Anand will fold.
If you had my hand, you would have called him for sure. And he would have went snap call.
What'd you have?
Much better hand than you, apparently.
Nice pot for Berman. Some interesting pre-flop action in that hand. Antonio Esfandiari is back with Phil Locke for some pro analysis.
2015 World Series of Poker Day 6. Here we are.
Day 6 is deep. It's deeper than Day 5.
We're supposed to be down there.
Well, I'm supposed to be down there. You? I'm not too
Hey,
sure.
you only lasted a little further than me this year.
Blah, blah, blah.
Wow, Bradley Berman's down there. He's still in it. We used to get
Bradley
with him
Berman
all the time.
is down there, and he's making the right play with 2 9s here.
Yep.
With the stack that he has, you never want to just call. And I've seen a lot of players make this mistake where they just call and try and avoid overcards.
Yep.
But the hand is too
If he had 50 or 70 big blinds different, if he has
Much different.
22, 23 big blinds, it's very standard here.
Right. You just shove, you pray, and that's it. You fasten your seatbelt and hope it works out.
Click it on, push it in, pray.
You do the 3-bet thing too? It's okay, you're allowed. I noticed that people do that now. It's cool. I mean, I don't get mad, but it's cute.
I wish the hands were in reverse order then.
Oh, yeah, you wish.
That big, huh?
No, I just want to double up.
Yeah.
I get mad. I'm not like you.
But when people 3-bet you?
Yeah.
You were mad at me just then?
I had a big pair.
No, I mean, you 3-bet me with jacks, and I 3-bet me light.
Yeah, I wouldn't 3-bet you light.
That's not true.
I swear I wouldn't.
Welcome back to the Rio for the 2015 World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. Main event first-timer Randy Klinger came to Vegas from Ohio, having the time of his life. Another first-timer, Fader Holtz, experienced everywhere but the main event. He's enjoying this deep run just like everyone else.
Just had a cab driver who drove like 10 minutes in the wrong direction, so not easy, but I guess that's part of the journey. You get nervous, you think more about what could happen and what's gonna happen. When you're not nervous, you don't focus. Like, it doesn't mean something to you. When it doesn't mean something to you, then you won't succeed.
I try to don't think about this day. I'm really know that I'm doing something really good, but I don't try to think about this. I just try to be concentrated on the game, and don't wake me now. I don't think it's very easy table, but not difficult like yesterday. So we're gonna do a very good day, and I hope to go until day 7.
Ready to go. I got a good run in, good lift in, good meal, so we're gonna really go at it. It doesn't matter who the leader was day 2, day 3, day 4. It matters who's leader at the end. Because I'm an amateur, and I can kind of fly in under the radar and hopefully attack and strike and still be standing tomorrow morning.
It's really stressful, and it's a roller coaster for sure. I was really tight and tense, and it helped calm me down. Also slowed down my play, so I didn't do anything stupid. I slept really great, and I came into the day, first or second hand, I tripled up, actually. So now I was below average, now I have above average, and started the day off great.
Beckley in action. He flopped top pair on the paired board to take the lead against 2010 November Nighter Matt Jarvis with only pocket 5s.
By the way, Feder Holtz mentioned he had a cab driver here who drove him in the wrong direction for 10 minutes. That is not by accident, sir. Man, these cabbies in Las Vegas will take you for a ride.
Jarvis 4-bet pre-flop in the big blind. Beckley made the call now post-flop. $550,000 from Jarvis.
Beckley's sitting with 2 pair, but he's got a bad kicker. And Jarvis could even have a big pocket pair.
So Jarvis, the experienced one here in the main event against this main event first-timer, but Beckley's going to come along with the call.
Yeah, this actually feels a little like the clash of the generations, but Jarvis only 6 years older. Beckley is 24.
$2.8 million in the middle. Tray of spades keeps Josh ahead with 10s and 8s. Now a flush draw. Jarvis bet the flop. Got a call from Beckley. And it looks like Jarvis wants to continue his aggression. And that is $1.1 million.
Left arm on right shoulder. Someone needs to explain this or we're not showing any more poker hands.
Jarvis in that familiar pose with those familiar Oakley glasses. And Beckley with a familiar call. A spade on the river. Beckley finds a flush. Jarvis has the action. Is he worried with 3 spades out there? He does check.
Josh might not have been too comfortable with 2 pair, but I think he's very comfortable with a flush now.
Indeed he is. He's all in for almost 1.7. And that's the look of a man about to fold.
That's a concession smile.
Yep, a good flop for the first timer and a better river to add over $2.5 million to his stack.
Well, Beckley hit his flush, but those were a couple of tough calls he made before that.
Indeed, Jarvis kept trying, but Beckley got him for almost half of his stack. All right, to another table, Wisconsin bar owner and Phil Hellmuth protege, Mark Kroon, has hung on to almost 2 million chips, but what a key moment for him with ace-10 off. Justin Conley 3-bet all-in with ace-10 of clubs with 17 big blinds before big stack Anton Morgenstern 4-bet with pocket queens.
And Kroon's ace-10 has to go into the muck now, unless he wants to shorten Phil Hellmuth's life by 2 years.
I'm having too much fun to call this. Fold.
He does fold. And so Morgenstern with the queens will try to knock off Conley.
Conley, a 27-year-old Lexington, Kentucky pro. A 2-to-1 dog to stay alive here against Morgenstern.
All right, Conley looking for some help. And here is the flop. A set of queens for Morgenstern, but a flush draw for Conley.
Well, the flush draw is nice, but Conley now a 3-to-1 dog against the set.
Turn pairs aboard, rendering any possible flush moot for Conley. Morgenstern scores the knockout with a full house.
Conley's 28th World Series cash, second in the main event.
Even if you have the worst hand, out of hope, drawing dead, and know it's coming, busting the main event still stings. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. Sportscaster Jeff Platt on his feet, open shove, ace-deuce of clubs. Matt Jarvis called with ace-king, a chance to begin rebuilding his stack.
I'm not rooting against Jarvis, but I gotta root for Platt. He's an absolute pleasure around the table.
From San Antonio, he will now go duck hunting, looking for a double-up.
You got no Canadians here. You got no Canadians.
Platt finished 203rd last year for 45 grand. Here's the flop. It is 9, queen, 9. Opens the case for a chop.
No problem. A chop would make a lot of us happy.
Deuce ball. Yeah, deuce just to put into it.
Turn card now. 4 of spades.
Oh, it's a spade. That's probably not good.
Jarvis with a flush draw.
So Platt will need a non-spade deuce to win it all, a 4 or non-spade queen to split the pot.
It's a 10. Jeff Platt knocked out by Matt Jarvis, who ends up with a flush.
Well, I like Jeff Platt, and I like a man who wears a dark jacket. We might have a future together.
Platt with a strong finish this year, 60th place, 6 figures. How about that? Matt Jarvis back to over 3.6 million. If you want to compare Jarvis's main event run in 2010 with his run this year, here are his end-of-day chip counts, except for day one, everything looking better 5 years later. Let's go down to Kara Scott right now, who is with the recently departed Jeff Platt.
We saw Jeff Platt here last year as well, made it all the way to day 5, this year all the way to day 6. So what's up for next year?
Seems pretty easy to me, Kara. Last year, day 5. This year, day 6. Next year, day 7. But I'll take the November 9 next year also. We'll go ahead and get that one out of the way. We won't have to wait till 2017 for that.
Do you think that making day 5 last year, did it kind of inform your game here this year, and how did it do that?
I think it helped. I think it gives you an understanding of what the main event is all about. You know, it can be very, very draining. You've heard that a lot. The ups and downs of this tournament are really intense. And so it helps to go through basically 4.5 days of that last year. Gets you more prepared for this year. And you don't have to push the panic button in this tournament because it is the greatest poker tournament in the world.
Will you tell Greg Popovich about your tournament result here?
I will, and I think he'll just give me a dirty look and then walk off, and that's it.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
You got it. Thanks, Kara.
Kara dropping some NBA knowledge on Jeff. Nicely done. 59 remain at an outer table. Samuel Louis Gagnon moved to short stack all in with queen 5. Fedor Holtz called with ace king. Here is the flop. 5-10 deuce. Gagnon pairs his 5 to lead.
Gagnon, 26-year-old Canadian ticket broker. Has Fedor gone all leather on us on day 6?
He has indeed. 8 of hearts. Gagnon still good.
You know what to do, Jim.
Holtz instructing the dealer politely to deliver an ace or a king on the river.
The river card. Oh, delivery granted, an ace. Holtz rivers the winner. Gagnon cannot hang on.
Boy, you know what to do, Jim. Works.
An exchange of pleasantries before Gagnon's off to collect his payout of nearly 114 grand. Holtz on the uptick to almost 2.8 million, extending his run at his first main event.
Maybe Fedor is going into space.
Back at our feature table, Tom Canuli is the big stack with Daniel Negreanu on his immediate right. Action under the gun on Amur Anand, pocket kings. He was a chip leader here on day 4. He raises to 125,000. Bradley Berman with pocket 5s.
Berman 31st at the 2004 main event.
Berman folds. Jake Toole has pocket jacks.
Toole went to Penn State, quit to play poker, but then got his degree online through Penn State in 2013. Online degrees are rigged, man.
This is his first main event cash in 6 tries. He calls.
I got my degree at the University of Maryland on campus. That's legitimate.
What'd you major in?
American Studies.
That's a legitimate major?
You went to UC Santa Barbara. What did you major in? Sunsets?
Sunsets. That's ridiculous. Ultimate Frisbee? Hold it around to Negreanu. He gives up 8-6. Canuli will not stick around, and so it will be heads up. Anand with his pocket kings. Toole with his pocket jacks. Here's the flop. 7 deuce 6, all clubs. Okay, flop for both if you don't have jacks against kings. Anand has the king of clubs for the draw.
Anand, a University of Michigan graduate in computer science. His first job in high school was driving a golf cart at a driving range collecting golf balls. Geez, I would have thought you'd need a UC Santa Barbara degree to do that.
It's like you're wearing a target when you're driving one of those carts. Anand bets 165,000 with the best hand.
Toole has a 4-year-old Australian Shepherd who I believe teaches at UC Santa Barbara.
And Toole will come along for 165,000. He has the bigger of these 2 stacks. Turn card, 9 of diamonds. Anand has the action. He's going to check this time. Crafty.
Another thing about jacks, you often think you're ahead when you're behind. It's an illusion. It's like when you step out of Caesars on the Strip. It looks like it's a 5-minute walk to Bally's, but it's really 20.
Toole feeling like the water could be safe, bets 300,000. Now Anand with the real hand.
You're good? I brought these just to troll Daniel, obviously. I mean, this is going to be my, when I bust the main, this is my last chance to eat these. I'm in full training mode. This is my last chance to say it, so.
All in.
Anand says all in with the shorter stack.
Well, if I'm Jake Toole, I'd ask myself, would an amateur bluff for his main event life on day 6 with a hand worse than Jack's. And this would be for most of Toole's stack. God, it would be a heck of a play if he were bluffing.
Toole, an accomplished player with over $700,000 in career earnings. And noodling this one out. And he gives up the big pocket pair. Anand will take that pot.
Anand busted out with kings versus aces, 4 from the money in last year's main event. This time, kings served Anand well.
Anand over $3.6 million. Toole thinking about it, but he'll come to realize sooner or later he made a good laydown. Every pot tightly contested. It can make for stressful days and nights. Yet main event rookie Federico Buonarroti always seems to be having a good time, Norman.
Well, he once went on a 15-day backpacking expedition to Morocco. 15 days? I can't backpack for more than an hour.
Tournament leader Pierre Neuville opened for $135,000 with Jack-10. Buonarroti in the big blind now has ace-6.
In Italy, defending your big blind is like drinking wine at dinner. Everyone does it. There are no questions asked. And if you don't, they ship you off to an Olive Garden, never to be spoken to again.
The 25-year-old from Rome makes the call. Heads up. Here is the flop, 9-7-6. Buonarroti with bottom pair. Neuville needs an 8 for a straight. Buonarroti has the action. He checks.
I don't know exactly what Neuville's shirt is. I don't know where you can get one. And I don't know if they make it in my size, but I want one.
He bets 175. He has 19 World Series cashes, does Pierre.
Actually, you seldom see 2 button-down shirts heads up on day 6 of the main event.
Pierre's writing a book and TV series about his life. That could be a good one. He's got over $2.2 million in career cashes, former businessman. And there's a call from Buonarroti for 175.
Buonarroti still not sure where he stands with bottom pair.
Turn card, ace of clubs. Buonarroti turns aces up. Neuville does not improve his standings.
Yeah, Buonarroti now with bottom pair and a top pair. That's a whole different ball game.
And he checks again.
I mean, I would take this shirt over the puffy shirt on Seinfeld in a New York minute.
And the check once again inducing a bet, this time 380 from Pierre.
Well, that is one big bluffing shirt, I guess.
Buonarroti is the one looking suspiciously at his Belgian counterpart. Federico. Just a call.
Buonarroti just calling here, hoping Neuville will bet the river.
Tray of spades, third spade on the board.
No, spades got there, so Federico cannot like that.
He's check called the whole way. He checks the river and a check back.
Drinking wine at dinner is rewarded, as it should be.
Federico shows his hand. The mysterious Belgian.
Boy, he's slow rolling the fold.
Is he going to show? Federico would love to see it. No, he mucks. A big blind defense works out well for Buonarroti, the first-timer making his mark on this year's main event, and maybe now a footnote in Pierre's book. Welcome back to the Rio, and the main event action definitely picking up as the pressure picks up. One young player who is handling the moment well is this guy, 23-year-old Tom Canuli. His success is not by accident.
I've worked very, very hard to be where I'm at. A lot of people know me and will tell you how hard I've worked. I'm not a new face. I've been around for 6 years. I've been playing cash games mostly, and I haven't had the easiest road. So like that struggle that I went through, it's made me appreciate this moment so much and realize how lucky and blessed I really am to be here.
Nice meeting you, man. It's insane.
It's a passion for me. I'm able to live my life doing what I want. And that's what's more important to me, is to be able to be happy during my life while I'm here.
Well, I have a hand. How you got a hand?
Because anybody that's working their job that doesn't find happiness and they're spending all their time there, you know, that's not right. You should be able to live your life how you want to live it and be happy throughout that process. That's something that poker has brought to me. And that's what I wish for everyone out there, because time is very precious.
How did this kid get this smart this young? Be happy in your work. Great philosophy.
Jake Toole raised with deuces. Tom has the button and king-queen suited.
By the way, if time is very precious, I'd expect Cannuli to act a little quicker on his hands. I mean, I've bought a car in less time than some of these players take to call the pocket pair.
He calls with the king-queen suited. Bradley Berman, ace-tray suited. And Berman from the big blind will call for 75 grand more. 3 players will see this flop. And the flop is 4 king 10. Berman misses. No help to Toole. Top pair for Cannuli.
Berman here actually has the rare double runner-runner straight draw. He can make 2 possible straights, a wheel or Broadway. I live for these moments.
A check from Berman. Toole. 200,000 is the bet.
You know, at least when there's a long rally in tennis, they're hitting the ball back and forth. When there's a long rally in poker these days, it's just a long hand where nobody's doing anything.
Top pair for Cannuli. Cannuli sits with almost 7 million. Toole with almost 2.8 million. Bradley Berman almost 1.7 million. A call. So now back to Bradley.
Oh, Bradley Berman sadly and stupidly gives up the double runner-runner straight draw.
Here's the turn card now, heads up. 6 of clubs.
It would be interesting to know how much of the waiting before acting is real thought process and how much is posturing.
Posturing certainly is key in the game. At some point it crosses a line to delaying. Toole checks.
Now, for instance, when I decide to propose marriage, that whole thinking process is maybe 3 seconds.
That worked out well for you.
Good for you.
Cannuli checks. River card, 8 of hearts.
Toole actually played tennis in high school and college. Most of his matches took less time than this hand.
Toole with the pocket deuces. And so obviously every card on board is an overcard, yet he's reaching for chips. Jake is buying whatever Cannuli is selling, and he gets Toole to bet 475.
Well, Toole hoping that bet sheds Cannuli. Toole bet the flop, checked the turn. What could he have?
Well, Toole certainly has not been shy about playing his holdings with strength in this main event. There is a call. With a pair of kings, Cannuli will take that pot from Toole.
Good call. The 23-year-old has worked hard to know what he's doing.
And the main event chip leader just got 49 years younger as Tom Cannuli takes over the top spot from Pierre Nouvel. Jake Toole losing almost 30% of his stack. So Tom Cannuli sits atop the leaderboard.
He's got a lot of big-time players in his corner, guys like Jeff Gross, Sorel Mitzi, and our own Antonio Esfandiari.
We'll keep it here at the featured table. King Trey for Max Steinberg under the gun.
There's a bunch of New Jersey players left in this main event. This could be New Jersey's year.
Kelly Minkin, who doubled up early on here in day 6, will fold to Negreanu, who looks down at pocket 8s.
Daniel only goes to New Jersey when a diner there has a chickpea, coconut, and cashew curry special.
Daniel raised to 115,000. Cannuli suited 7-6.
Well, Daniel actually would prefer to swap hands here, believe me.
Tom now, the main event chip leader, not just the chip leader at this table, makes the call.
Yeah, and Cannuli now in the position we've seen Max Steinberg in, a big stack. How do you approach it?
Berman folds.
You know, when Bradley Berman shaves, he actually looks like Tom Cannuli.
I did not know that. Big blind folds, so we're heads up.
I believe everyone other than Cannuli and Kelly Minkin has a beard at this table.
All right, the flop. Jack, King, 9, 2 spades. Spade flush draw for Cannuli. Daniel checks the 3 overcards to his pocket pair.
I know Daniel's the favorite, but he'd still rather have Cannuli's hand.
Tom's going to bet it. 160,000. Daniel doesn't like the flop, doesn't like the bet. He's gone.
With a flush draw and in position, Cannuli seizes that pot.
Tom Canuli now over 8 million chips. It started with a little luck with Ace King.
Good game, man.
And then continued with a nice call with King Queen.
You got it.
Then came a semi-bluff with 7 high. Tom Canuli over 8 million and in the main event chip lead.
Welcome back to the Side Action Championship. Tonight's event is Guess the Pot Size. There are 3 types of chips in the pot. Players will have 15 seconds to guess the value. They may not touch the pot at any point in the competition. Closest to the actual pot size wins.
Oh, wait. I need my glasses.
Wait a second.
Needs his glasses.
All right, I'm ready. Now we can see.
3, 2, 1, dump it. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fine. Drop your pens. All right, let's see what we have. Let's start with Maria Ho.
14 million.
14 million, she says.
That's the price of
Jean
You're only
Robert
off by
Ballon.
10x.
My pen didn't really work. 1,800,000.
800,000?
1,800,000.
800,000.
800,000. 14,800,000. Now up to Phil Hellmuth.
1.5 million.
And now up to Phil Locke.
2.5 million.
Yeah.
The actual total
Phil's gonna win.
was 3 million. Phil Locke with the victory.
A little something.
I'm second, though.
You're second, 14 million.
I'm sorry. I got flustered. I didn't know how much time we had.
The race is
14 million.
really tightened up here. More Side Action Championship next week.
And the women really took a hit tonight with Maria's 14 million chip catastrophe, yet she remains the overall leader. Josh Beckley heads up. 2 big stacks out there. He's drawing dead on the turn to the second pair of Colorado physician Erasmus Morphy and his nearly 6.4 million chips. Morphy checked.
Left arm, right shoulder. Worst hand.
430,000 is the bet, though, from Beckley.
Right arm, left shoulder, best hand. Plus, the player there watching it all, right arm, left shoulder. What is going on?
Morphy added a Broadway draw on the turn. And the good doctor with a call.
When you start eating the flesh off your left wrist, it is a tell.
River card now. And the 6 pairs Beckley. Morphy checks again.
Beckley's been drawing dead for more than an hour.
And for 59 of those minutes, he's been putting chips in the pot.
Well, I don't think we're going to see any more going into the pot.
Oh, think again, sir.
Well, I like his style. And actually, I like this play.
1,075,000.
He's probably putting Morphy on a 1-pair hand like queens or 10s, and it's hard to call here.
Especially for an amateur. And there is the call, a tag-along win following Beckley's lead on every street. And Morphy will take a very nice pot.
You can't push around a physician without proper health coverage.
And Morphy now is the new chip leader. Step aside Tom Canuli. Beckley takes a hit, but he's got plenty of leftovers.
But we're pretty late in the main event for a doctor, a 43-year-old amateur, to be chip leader.
Not long before the field gets a raise, the next pay bump comes with finisher number 54. One player used to big payouts is Brian Hastings, who's having the summer of his life here in 2015.
Honestly, when I sit down in the main event, I'm as confident as I've ever been. You know, I was driving in the car on the way to the tournament, and I'm like, babe, like, I looked at my table draw. There's no one who I think is going to give me a big problem. Like, something really bad is going to happen for me to bust today. And I didn't bust. I didn't come close to busting. I obviously ran well in some important spots, but I also think I played great. And I think I played as well as I'm capable of playing, which is the important part.
He can play it all. His 3 bracelets are in heads-up, no-limit hold'em, stud, and the 10-game mix.
Hastings going to work. He raised with ace-9 suited. Neil Blumenfield still hanging on, has queen-10 in the small blind.
Blumenfield, as you may recall, knocked out our donkey buddy, Antonio Esfandiari, who also is a 3-time bracelet winner.
He re-raises to 250. 42-year-old amateur from Stockholm in the big blind is Thomas Arvidsson. 8-6 of clubs. Thomas enjoying his first main event cash. Folds. Now back to Hastings.
Hastings very confident, puts his money where his mouth is, made several prop bets with fellow pros on who would have a better World Series. He cashed in big on those and made a bracelet bet with his buddy Jason Mercier. Mercier gave him 3.3 to 1 odds. Hastings risked $50K and won $165,000 when he scored a bracelet.
He makes the call. Here is the flop. 9, deuce, 5. Neil now a 3-1 dog. Neil was a 3-1 dog earlier after the flop, but he hit the turn and doubled up through Hastings. A bet of 155.
Tiny continuation bet from Blumenfield. Let's see if the amateur somehow confuses Hastings. Hastings is not easily confused.
Yeah, Brian has a way of figuring out his opponent. So beware if you sit next to him. Neil, pretty well covered up in the hat, shades, and scarf. Brian has come to a decision. A raise to 425. That gets Neil's attention.
Hastings with the right read. And the software guy here is just Hollywooding to save face. Actually, in Silicon Valley, they call this Silicon Valleying.
Not too often because it's so hard to say. Hastings raising with top pair. Blumenfield was bluffing with his original bet. He's not going anywhere yet, Norman.
What's he doing, Lon?
Wow, all in. And a snap call, and Blumenfield knows he's in trouble.
In Silicon Valley, they call that getting your hand caught in the cookies jar.
Wow, Blumenfield did try to put up a strong front, but Hastings caught him.
Queen or jack would be good. Jack? All right, jack's there. I'll give you a jack.
Turn card. King. Blumenfield with a straight draw.
No more jacks. No more jacks. Any face card's pretty good, actually. King. Give him a king.
He needs a queen, jack, or 10 to survive.
River card. Oh, a jack. Blumenfield survives again.
That's the second time Hastings has shown Blumenfield the door, and the second time the dressy amateur somehow snuck back in.
And this double up a little pricier. 2.7 million now for Neil. Hastings with a wry smile. He did everything right. He's still got 75 big blinds to play with. It wasn't Neil Blumenfield's shining moment, but sometimes at poker it works out anyway. The 61-year-old somehow, someway, still has chips. Back at the main event, every pot at this stage so critical. Neil Blumenfield just happy to be here. At one table, we see Matt Guan has moved into the chip lead, nearing 10 million.
28-year-old part-time poker pro / day trader from San Jose, California.
Nearby, Newville and Buderoni jousting again, along with Thomas Paul, a retired bond trader from Utah. Buderoni leads after the flop with pocket sixes.
Where did this guy come from?
It was Paul, though, who bet $650,000 after the others checked. Newville with a raise, a check raise to 1.6 million.
It's a big raise with Squadouche. This 72-year-old plays like a 22-year-old.
Buderoni with the best hand, low cards on the flop. He's got pocket sixes, but he will give them up.
What, did they roll this guy in from some afternoon soap to fill a seat? Who is he, Lon?
Thomas Paul with just king high, no clubs on the board. He gives it up. Pierre Newville swoops in with a serious bluff and steals the pot.
When Newville was a toy executive, I would not have played Connect 4 with him.
And he shows his rags, much to the chagrin of our Italian friend. Pierre with more than 8.2 million now. As we get back to the feature table, you see the top three stacks. Stacks really inflate here on day 6. Canuli in third place overall. He's at our feature table. Action on Kelly Minkin under the gun, pocket fives.
She made a last longer bet with 17 other women here in the main event and pocketed an extra $8,500 for that.
But makes me sleep better at night.
Kelly raises to 120.
God, he really wants to ignore me. He wants the mute button.
No, I don't want to ignore you. I don't know what to say.
Daniel with ace king. He calls.
Well, at first I wanted to ignore you, but you're funny. It's nice.
Just because I mentioned 100, 200 no limit words?
Aren't you like
No,
super...
you mentioned my Jack High call.
The Jack High call.
Ooh, the infamous
what you're
Jack High
famous
call.
for.
That's it. Yeah, but it's an
Isn't that what ESPN's gonna be like? This kid one's called with Jack High.
Small blind.
Wait, you were
Sixes
you
for
were
Steinberg.
Wrong. Oh, you were wrong. Whatever. He wasn't bluffing with better, was he?
Max's Jack High call at the 2013 World Series National Championship. What a hand.
Max with sixes.
Wow. This could be a fun pot.
Calls here. Schwartz now. Ace nine of spades.
120.
Looks like it's going to be a four-way pot.
Justin has a lot of respect for Max's game. He told us that. And he does call. All right, so four will see this flop. Max a slight favorite now.
Four of the best.
The flop. Deuce, Jack nine, a couple of spades. Schwartz catches middle pair to take a strong lead with a flush draw. Max checks.
That flop quieted Justin Schwartz.
Justin checked, Kelly checked. Negreanu now. He missed. He'll check. Turn card. Tray of hearts. Schwartz still good.
Tray on the turn doesn't change anything, anytime, anywhere.
Max now with the pocket sixes. No action. Leading to the turn. Bets 315,000.
Schwartz, 26-year-old Las Vegas pro with 15 World Series cashes and an unusual tableside manner.
He's got the best hand with the nines and the draw.
Yeah, I think he might raise here.
Multi-way pots, so much more complicated. That's just a call. Kelly will fold. Daniel likewise heads up to the river.
And it's quite a heads-up sartorial clash.
Only one card that's going to help Max on the river, the six of hearts. And that ain't it.
You couldn't sell that board at a flea market for a wooden nickel.
Max let out on the turn, but he checks there. Check, check.
Sixes.
I'm good.
Justin Schwartz out flops the bunch and will take the pot.
Winning a pot at TV table is fun. It's an adrenaline rush.
Nobody seems to be enjoying it as much as Justin.
Nice no bet on the flop, Daniel.
Nice flop.
All I had was ace king, no pair.
No big
I
deal.
think Max had the best hand pre-flop.
I'd rather have ace king.
I'm so glad I didn't have to make a big decision versus Max Steinberg on the river there. You have no idea. Because, like, now that Justin Bonomo is out, you're the most capable in the field, so.
I thought you were on a draw. I was going to be taking for a while if you bet.
Yeah.
He was on a draw.
So the guy who I called Jack High against was in the field until, like, his name's Jonathan Hilton. He got, like, 96. And so it's like, please do not put me on a table with him.
Here's
Please,
that
Lord.
Jack High call Max is talking about.
I can't believe I'm thinking about this.
What the heck?
Jack High for Max Steinberg.
That's nuclear squadouche.
I call.
He makes the call.
He called? If Hilton had 2 traffic tickets, he had a better hand. Jack High. He called.
Danny doesn't yet know the full story of what his twin brother just did.
He called with Jack High, Danny. He called him with Jack High. Lon, that's the most inexplicable, incomprehensible, insane call I've ever seen.
Apparently Justin still remembers, so.
But you didn't want the media attention from it?
No. I mean, they might show it. I'm over it. But...
I'll never get over it. You called with Jack High.
Welcome back to the Rio, the day before the final table. You with me, Norman?
He called with Jack High.
We're over it, right? Back to the feature table action on Jake Toole, ace jack of spades. He grew up just outside of Boston. A raise to 125. Jake actually used to teach tennis as a high schooler. Fold it around to Schwartz.
You've been to 4 people, never mind. You've been to 3 people, it might be a value bet. You just size so much bigger than most, so because you're good.
Justin folds to Kelly.
It just messes me up, you know? Because like I like play so many hands with terrible MTT players. So like when they bomb 315, like I have like that in my head. I need to just realize I'm playing against Mac Steinberg now.
Kelly faced with a raise from Tool, and she's got
At least
Jack
that position,
Deuce and lavender chips.
Sometimes we see the other Phil Hellmuth. Now we're going to see the other Kelly Minkin.
A re-raise to 310 to Tool.
Actually, I might think Daniel might be better at this table. But it depends if we count table position, you know, because I have better position. But if I was sitting in that seat, I would do a hell lot better than Daniel would do in that seat. You get what I'm saying? Is this too much poker strategy talk for you, Steinberg? You like keeping it chill?
With the call.
But, like, you're one of my heroes, you know?
It is chill.
I'm a huge poker fanboy.
I appreciate you.
He was a fun player.
Huge flop for Tool, top two. Middle pair for Kelly.
You were playing big then, right? Or no?
When was then?
It's too much poker strategy talk for me. Plus, he's got table mates in the middle of a hand.
285,000 with the second best hand from Minkin.
Well, this turns out to be a bad spot for Kelly. She gets part of that flop, and this bet often would end the hand, but Tool hit that flop hard.
Yeah, he's the 19-1 favorite. He just calls.
On mine always for the cameras, but I was just so glad you checked. So.
That diamond gives Kelly a flush draw.
It's different on the armchair than in the table. Same thing.
I thought Tool might have raised the flop to protect his hand against straight or flush draws. If she fires again, I don't think he's raising now.
Minkin does check.
Do you think this is going to be the first time in ESPN history that Daniel is not the most talkative player at the table?
No, it happens a lot. Yeah. It happens way more than you think. I don't usually talk when people are in big pots.
Oh, you're respectful. If any of them asked me to stop talking, I would.
I'm asking for them.
And then I stop and I say that. But, like, I feel like...
Yeah, but they're in the middle of a big hand.
Jake in a good spot here, needing chips.
They're in the middle of a big hand. Let's fight.
On.
Well, Jake says all in, interrupting everyone else.
Well, that's the right move. Let's see if Kelly makes the right laydown.
Daniel and Justin go off for a private chat. Kelly cannot continue. Jake Tool fighting back.
Nice answer.
He started the day with $3.5 million, got taken down a few notches, now trying to rebound. Minkin took her shot, but just bad timing.
They're in a hand, Daniel. I don't care if it's a limped pot, blind versus blind. I won't say a word. I'm respectful of humans, you know? Some people, if they ask me, I talk more. If Kelly asks me, I'll shut up. Maybe I'm just wrong in etiquette.
No, but I'm saying if they're in the middle of a big pot, like some big
I have a
number,
question,
and then
Max. If you're in a
checking
big pot, do you want me to shut the hell up?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, you got it.
Okay, thank you.
If anyone else wants me to put my mute button on if you're in a big pot, you can make that request, and you got it.
Yeah, I'll go with that. What the hell? I mean, while they're...
I said if I like them.
Oh, yeah, okay, pardon me. I withdraw my request.
I'm kidding.
Elsewhere, David Peters has pocket kings and ace hit the flop, but with a nut flush draw, he bet $500,000 into Alex Turiansky, who hit that ace.
Got in trouble for saying yes last time.
Peters, 56-year-old Southern California attorney. Boy, we've got a lot of lawyers around here.
Yeah, we do indeed.
And they brought in that extra again?
Turiansky shows the ace and folds. Oops.
The diamond was coming on the river. I can see it.
Peters frustrates Turiansky there. He's under 30 big blinds.
Whoa. A diamond was coming on the river.
Peters now with almost $7.5 million, almost 150 big blinds. 25-year-old poker pro Brad St. Vincent from Rhode Island has been knocked out.
He was a kid with a dream.
He wins almost $114,000.
He was a kid with a dream.
Nearby, an all-in and call.
Should I use my one time? I'm pretty sure I should. One time.
Thomas Paul with queens trying to knock off Chris Horter with tens.
I don't get it. They brought in this Paul guy as an extra. He's allowed to knock out a legit player like Chris Horter?
Here is the flop. Darkness looming there for Horter.
Okay, I was just handed some additional information about Paul. He was part of a blackjack team when he was at MIT. So he doesn't even play poker. Horter does this for a living. This is an outrage.
That flop was about 8 time zones away from Horter's cards. Turn card now. Deuce of hearts, no help to Chris.
Well, when you use your one time and it comes on the river, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
That's exactly what he needs here.
And I believe this fella stole this shirt from Pierre Neuville's hotel room.
The river card now.
Horder has to have a 10.
It's an 8. Chris Horder is done in 57th place.
I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Paul were an alias.
Horder will head to the payout cage and cash out far and away his biggest ever poker score.
Ah, he was a kid with a dream.
He learned the game from his dad, who was a dealer. Very nice run here. For Thomas Paul, well, he's still running in his first ever main event cash. 56 players left. Not bad odds with almost $7.7 million for the champ. The 2015 World Series of Poker is presented by DraftKings. Play weekly fantasy football for free and win huge cash prizes. Get to DraftKings.com now. And in part by WSOP Social, the #1 play for fun poker game. Free download for your mobile device, tablet, or PC at playwsop.com. Backpacks are standard issue at the main event, holding snacks, drinks, electronic diversion devices. What's in your backpack, Norman?
2 engagement rings, 2 wedding rings, 1 prenup, and a copy of my 1992 divorce settlement.
Back of the featured table, folded to attorney, artist, pianist, poker player Kelly Mencken, ace queen on the button.
She says the main event is so exhausting every morning she just wakes up, showers, and comes down to play. She doesn't even eat breakfast.
Kelly starting the hand with 65 big blinds, a raise to 110,000, and the small blind Negrano with 4 tray of diamonds.
When Daniel is bored at home, he deals himself baby-suited connectors.
We used to call that Daniel's neighborhood. He's got about 1 million chips fewer than Kelly. He'll call here. Big blind is Canuli with pocket 7s, and he string calls.
Good luck with the choicers. I'm good on my iPad.
Thank you.
All right, here is the flop. And it is queen, queen, deuce, trips for Kelly. Negrano checked it.
Chances are nobody would have a queen, so pocket 7s could be good here.
I think that's what Tom is thinking. 225,000.
And what a great spot for Kelly Mencken. On the button, she could have raised with just about anything, so no one is going to believe she has a queen with 2 queens on board.
And the old looking suspiciously at your betting opponent before begrudgingly calling with the best hand trick. Daniel folds.
Heads up, and these 2 players are young, but they are 2 cash game veterans.
Turn card and ace, and Mencken improves the queen's full.
That card might save Canuli chips. Kelly could have an ace. She could have clubs.
Tom did check it. He does have a baby club with 3 clubs on board.
Kelly honed her game while in law school at the rough and tumble environs of the Commerce Casino in LA. She'd fly there from Arizona a couple of weekends a month to play, usually 10, 20, no limit hold'em.
With the full house, with Canuli drawing dead, 380,000 from Mencken.
No, Canuli does not want to believe her. I would have folded when she reached for chips.
He's thinking, if she doesn't have it, then I have it.
Well, actually, she doesn't look that honest.
Tom, one of the big stacks in the room. And he's going to preserve some chips and fold.
Let you bluff me, Kelly.
Had it.
Had it?
I had it.
Flush? You had a flush?
Nice hand.
Not a flush.
No flush?
The other it.
The other, really?
Yeah, I had the other it.
Kelly.
You didn't have anything, so it really doesn't matter what I
I
had.
actually did have something. You'd be surprised.
You had a deuce?
2 7s or something?
6 fold.
Right.
Daniel knows what I have.
That's what it looked like. I
You
mean,
got counterfeited on the turn.
No, I probably had 7.
How does Daniel know he had 7s?
Wow, you folded 7? Sick.
On a night when Kelly Mencken made a huge push.
Kelly.
Had it. I had it. Nut? Had to crack a little smile.
2 tough pros made their way to the exit. The Schwartz is still with us.
I'll accept that.
And so is Kid Poker.
Don't be embarrassed for having emotion.
For Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. What a start to day 6.